the 6 basic steps that I believe everyone must or should encounter if they want to come to Canada as a student. Now, my first disclaimer is that I am in no position to give any legal advice as it relates to any immigration information or coming to Canada. However, any information that I share on this platform is based on lived experiences and based on my own personal encounter as an international student. Okay, so let's get into channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Okay, so this video is geared towards the 6 general basic steps in coming to Canada as an international student. There's the 6 basic steps that I believe everyone must or should encounter if they want to come to Canada as a student. Now, my first disclaimer is that I am in no position to give any legal advice as it relates to any immigration information or coming to Canada. However, any information that I share on this platform is based on lived experiences and based on my own personal encounter as an international student. Okay, so let's get it. So firstly, everyone must apply for a school. This process is basically you contacting different schools in Canada, whichever method or means that you may get in touch or connected with a school here. That is the first step. You have to do that process and fill out the application form, apply for the school, email it to the college or the university or wherever. That's the first basic step that someone or everyone must take. After you do that, you will receive an offer letter. Now, please bear in mind that the process that this takes may vary from person to person depending on several factors. It will depend on the university or the college that you're applying to. It will also depend on the time of the year that you applied. For example, if you apply, let's say, during the close to the December holiday, then for sure it's going to take probably 3 weeks before you will get the response, or maybe a month, just because you know that they will go on holiday break. So during that time, the school offices and admission officers will be closed. So because of that, it's going to take a longer time. So these factors do affect the time, and let me make this general statement that the time that it takes for these steps to be accomplished will vary from person to person. It depends on their country, their region, it depends on the college or university, and it depends on the embassy that they're working with. It depends on lots of factors. But generally, I'll say that these steps will take probably 4 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 4 months. It depends, but it shouldn't take any less than 4 months or 3.5 months. It really depends, guys. Okay, so secondly, you're going to receive an offer letter. This letter is just stating that the college or university is offering you a space into that program or to that faculty that you want to go into. Now, this offer letter, it will take about 2 weeks for any college or university to reply. As I said before, it will vary. This offer letter is just to say that yes, they are giving you the chance, that they're considering you for this position into this program. This offer letter is not the acceptance letter. Let's be clear about that. The offer letter is not the acceptance. Now, after this step, the school will require you to make a deposit or a down payment just to secure your place into the program. As international students, you will be required to make a deposit or down payment. Now, I'm not sure about if all the schools in Canada do this, but I'm sure that all of them, or almost all of them, should do this. The college that I go to now, Northern Lights College, I had to make that deposit, and that deposit is basically a down payment of the tuition for the first semester that you will be enrolled into the college or into the school, university, whatever. Now, this deposit, it can be pretty pricey, but as I said before, that will depend on the school you're going to And this deposit, making this deposit will take some time as well, because based on your own personal financial status, you may have to borrow a loan, or you may have to borrow from somewhere. You may have to contact relatives or family members to help sponsor you, whichever way that you're going to finance or shelter these expenses. It's going to take some time for you to do this. So that's the key to this, is that just follow the process and try to do everything as quick as possible. You can't necessarily look on others' experiences, because everyone's experience with this is specific or unique to themselves. Okay, so after you make this deposit, then the school will send you a letter of acceptance. This letter of acceptance is different from the offer letter in that it's saying that yes, you are offered that seat, or yes, you are accepted into that seat or program. When you get this letter of acceptance, you know that one of the many roadblocks is taken off. Okay, so this letter of acceptance, it will again take probably 2 weeks for the school to reply after you make the deposit. Some schools will reply earlier than some. It depends on whichever school you're applying to. But this letter of acceptance, it shouldn't take any more than 2 to 3 weeks for you to get this response. And this is basically saying that yes, the school wants you to come to their college. And let's look at it, guys. You have to make the deposit before you get acceptance letter, just because the college wants to make sure that you are financially able to shelter the expenses for at least the first semester. That is why most schools will require you to make the deposit before the acceptance letter is granted to you. Okay, so after you get this acceptance letter, then you can go ahead and apply for your student visa. Now, the student visa, some persons, they may confuse the term student visa versus student permit. The student visa and student permit, they are two separate documents and two separate things with separate meanings, and they have separate control separately whatsoever. Okay, so the student visa, that is what you will apply for to enter the country of Canada as an international student. Permit, that is just a legal document that you will get at the border. So whichever airport that you're going to come to first, whether it's going to be Toronto Airport, Vancouver Airport, Alberta Airport, it really depends on where you're coming from, because some Indians or Philippines, they will take different routes to get here. But depending on the route you're going to take, the very first airport that you come to, that's your border. That's your border from Canada to your country. That is where we get in the study permit. That is a legal document that will state when your studying in Canada starts and when it expires. Now, on the study permit, it will also state the conditions that you have in Canada as an international student. If you're eligible to work in Canada off campus, it will state that on the study permit. So, yes, guys, now you have a better understanding of what the both of them really means and the difference between the both of them. To be honest, I hadn't confused at first. At first, I thought the student visa was basically the permit or whatever. I thought it was just a different word which means the same thing, but no, it's not. Okay, so after you apply for the student visa, again, I see that this will take the longest while in this process. So among the 6 steps, applying for the study visa and getting the response is the longest process. And this varies on the country you are from. It also varies on several other factors. As it relates to Jamaica, applying for my study visa, it took me, it took me about a month or 5 weeks maximum. I think it was 4 to 5 weeks for me to get my response. No, it took me 4 weeks to get my response, I believe. 4 weeks, yeah, 3 to 4 weeks to get my response from them. And after I got that response, I still had to send it my passport. It will take about 2 months roughly just to get the student visa. Trust me, guys. And I know some countries too where it takes them 3 months and a longer time. Okay, so This is just to say that if you are planning to come into a school in Canada and you have an intake time that you want to reach, or you want to catch this intake time, please try to do all these things as quickly and as early as possible, because things are very unpredictable. The time is very unpredictable. Even though there's probably an estimated time, it really depends from person to person, and different people with different situations, they will influence different outcomes or different feedback from the Canadian Embassy wherever you are. Okay, so after you apply for the student visa and you get the response, if you get the student visa, then you know that you are ready for departure. Okay, so by ready for departure, I mean that you're ready to book your flights, you're ready to communicate with the college and the college or university, and they will give you the necessary documents that you need to come to Canada. They will tell you basically the general steps that you need to know in coming to Canada. As it relates to the pandemic, I know that you have to have a letter to prove that your university or college, it is accredited, or it is a DLI institution in Canada, and by that you will give that letter or your other supporting documents to the border service, to the airport. You have to have your letter of acceptance, other important supporting documents, your passport with your student visa, and all these documents have to be presented, and then you're basically you're basically ready to go. Okay, so at the border services, this is where you will be getting your student permit. That's what I was saying previously. Okay, so that really includes the 6 basic steps that it takes to come to Canada as an international student. As I said before, it will vary from person to person, the time it takes and the situation, because different people have different financial statuses, there are different factors that will influence or affect the overall outcome for different people. The countries have different policies implemented, or basically different general rules. I know, in Jamaica it wasn't really hard for me as it relates to the process it takes, because I was aware of the resources necessary for me to come here, and I had the resources necessary. The only roadblocks really was for me to wait for my passport, to make the deposits and all those things. Okay, so in another video, I will be sharing more insights into these steps as it relates to having the different financial documents that you'll be needing to apply for the student visa. I'll be giving more insight with regards to that, and also I'll be giving you some tips and tricks to ensure that your application for a student visa will be more successful or more enlightening in the eyes of the Canadian Embassy. In that way, hopefully you can get accepted. So in another video, I'll be telling you all these tricks and tips based on my experience in the past. As I said before, I have no legal authority to give any information about these things. I'm just talking about my lived experiences. Okay, so thank you guys very much for listening to the 6 steps I mentioned, and you have a nice day.